Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
Welcome. This is the Sports Trapp Podcast, and my name is John Trapp. This is... Wait, what?
What?
Mr. Christopher Rodriguez could not, unfortunately, make today's show. So in place, we got Mr. Wizard of Oz from out the curtain. Welcome, sir. Khoa.
What up?
Hey, this is the lovely, the talented, beautiful Mr. Khoa.
Oh, man.
Always bringing it and making our show what it is every day, improving one little bit, if not by an inch, by a mile. That's all I say. Always. So, welcome, episode number 19.2. Technically, episode 20, but we're going to reserve that spot for when Christopher Rodriguez does come back and joins us. He's feeling a little bit under the weather. Puerto Rico, vacation. I think he's like in a little vacation mode still. So, hey, you drink that water, you come back, you might have a little bit of, shall we say, Montezuma's revenge. Maybe not the same country, but you know, or Korea may know a thing about that too.
Man, Chris be partying too hard, bro. Come on, man.
That's what I think it is. I think he's hungover.
Yeah, that's but
No, I don't know. So yeah, man. Woo! Where do we start?
We had a tough night tonight.
Yeah. Houston Astros in the World Series. They advanced in a big way over the New York Yankees. Jose Altuve. We haven't been here since that day. So 2 games in the World Series have passed by. We obviously lost the first one. And tonight, unfortunately, we lost the second one. Down 0-2. Going into Washington, D.C. Tomorrow we got a day off. That's a good thing.
12-3.
12-3 tonight. I didn't want to even say the score.
Dude,
but listen, you cannot get off this bandwagon, or should I say, don't jump off the ship just yet.
Yeah.
You know, for all intents and purposes, we picked up Zach Greinke for a reason. We have 2 Cy Young Award potentially winning pitchers for a reason. We have potentially the MVP of the AL in Bregman for a reason. Altuve, ex-MVP, for a reason. Hey, we have George Springer, Mr. 5 home runs in 2 years ago in the World Series. We have all the tools that we need. I'm telling you, Houston, we are still in this. For you to think that we are done. Listen, all that energy that you have now, I don't want you to come and say, I knew it, when the Houston Astros pull this off. Listen, I don't want to go and jump ship now.
I think we're good about that, though. Have you been hearing that? Have you been hearing people jump ship?
Listen, I got on Twitter, and a lot of people are commenting.
You know people only post the truth on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah,
All good things come from Twitter,
man,
right?
Believe everything you read. No, but the sentiment is right now that Houston is done. And I get it. All the momentum, all the odds are with the Houston Nationals. But don't forget what team we are and the fact that we won 106 games this year.
Yeah.
We got there for a reason.
Yeah.
And then think about it. We went down 0-1. Actually, I want you to remember all the way back to 1994 when the Houston Rockets lost the first 2 home games in Houston versus the Phoenix Suns. We went over there to Phoenix and came back and won in a 7-game series. I'm telling you.
And Clutch City was born.
Hey, Clutch City. I'd rather go down with the Titanic than jump ship and jump off the boat
And be in the water when we win.
Yeah. Ask Jack how that ended up.
Oh.
You remember? You remember that last scene?
Yeah.
Wake up.
Man, I feel like I guess I haven't heard too much about I think the Houston fans, the ones I've seen, the ones of my friends, and I mean, of course, this is disheartening and it's disappointing that we're down and we're in the spot that we are. But I don't think anybody that I know is really counting us out. And on the flip side, I feel like most of the people that were saying that we were going to sweep in the first place, it was never anybody from Houston. It was all national media. It was like ESPN. It was all these like MLB Tonight. All these people saying that like we're overwhelming favorites. And if anybody knows me, I love the underdog. I love the underdog story. And I think we're as good as we are because we still have that mentality.
Right.
We're not, like the personality of our team is not of somebody who is like the champ that's on top. It's ours to take it back. We got to earn it.
Right.
Obviously, It's not ours. So it's ours to lose, if anything. And that's what I keep hearing from him. Now I've had to reply on YouTube comments and like Twitter comments where people are saying, all these things about like, oh, Houston's not getting a sweep like y'all thought. Now I'm like, bitch, I never thought we were getting a sweep.
Right.
If anything, I was calling Astros in 7 because I thought it was going to be that close. And a big reason why, when I look at the Nationals team, you know what I see? I see the Astros. I see a team that is hungry. They've got a lot of parts that are similar to us. They got a great rotation. Their bullpen is solid. Technically, it shouldn't be as deep as ours. Ours should be performing better. Their hitters, not on. I don't think the caliber and as consistent as what we have, and putting up the numbers, but showing up in game time in clutch moments and looking at their dugout. And this is a big thing when I look at like a baseball team and you watch the game. What do you look at? To me, I look at the energy of the dugout. Even when they're down and whatnot, and they seem to be having such a positive energy and vibe that it feels like when I watch the Astros, and why I love them so much, because they're such a fun-loving team and they're so loose and they play like it. So when I watch these two games, I feel like, man, they're giving us a literal dose of our own medicine.
Right.
That's
100%.
what I really feel like. And so to hear all these people talking to us and saying like, like bad mouthing us now, saying like, oh, like, like I feel like that was never our persona. Now you're going us like we're the Yankees. I feel like anybody that's a Yankees fan is like always the one that's. Don't get me wrong. I love that they love their team, but they love it to no end. You know what I mean? Like it's like They don't even use reasoning sometimes. They just love it just to love it. Where I'm on here, I feel like for us,
like you are with the Texans.
Hey.
No, but you're 100% right. When it comes to
we're not even a great team. Like the people love the Yankees though for a different reason. They love them because they are obviously the biggest franchise and dynasty in baseball.
Oh, I have a question.
40 World Series, 27 wins.
I have a question for you though about their fans in a second, but you're right. You're absolutely right. 100%.
They suck. That's the answer.
Are the exact literal reflection of what we are. One of the funniest things to me is all the attributes that they count for, say, the Washington Nationals, that they are having a lot of fun in the locker room. Every time that they hit a home run, they all celebrate in the dugout. They got two of the best pitchers in the MLB. It's like you're not criticizing, but they're describing what the Houston Astros are. And that's what I'm saying, though. You have two of the best pitchers who they had phenomenal years this year. Mm-hmm. Right. They got touched up a little bit.
Talking about Khoa and Verlander.
But who else would you want in a 6 or 7 game series or pitching game 7? And then you go and get one of the best, another very, very good pitcher in Zach Greinke. You know, that's what you do this for situations like this. When you have a game 6, when you have a game 7, or even in a almost the next closest thing to a win or go home situation of a game 3 being down 0-2, you have gone out and gotten Zach Greinke, a prize player that's available in the trade deadline. And this is the reason that you got him for game 3, for these exact moments. And again, the only difference that I see from this championship team, potential championship team with the Houston Astros in 2017, nothing else worries me more than this: experience. And it's not Altuve, Springer. It's not even Bregman. Though I feel like eventually they will all start hitting. Altuve, of course, has already started. But do you remember who the DH was in Houston when we won the World Series in 2017?
The DH, Evan Gattis?
He was one of them. But the other one was Carlos Beltran.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Carlos Beltran, there was not a moment too big. Who
had more experience than him.
Exactly. Who do we have? It's hitting DH now.
Mr. Air Jordan.
And that's one of the things. He went 1 for 26 in the ALCS, American League Championship.
Right. Awful in the postseason.
And what it is for you to have that situation, that moment in the playoffs, isn't necessarily a sign of him being a bad player, but is a sign of him being maybe overly nervous, doing too much, overthinking at the plate, him not having enough experience.
Yeah.
And it's in a big moment, in a big situation. He hasn't even had a full season. And then who is the first player that we bring out of the dugout to pinch hit? Tucker. Another rookie. Putting in big situations with somebody that doesn't have enough experience. And the one advantage that we have when it comes to going across and going to play National League rules is our pitchers are going to hit. Their pitchers are going to hit.
Yeah.
Our DHs aren't going to be involved. So from 1 to 8, we're actually stronger. Not to say that 1 to 9 we weren't in this situation, but the experience factor that we don't necessarily have in those big at-bats won't necessarily be such a glaring hole in our lineup. Now, I know that Alvarez had a couple hits today. He got on base. He actually got the first intentional walk that he's had in his career. Yeah. There's so many anomalies in this series that you have a tendency to believe that is the actual going rate or the actual norm, but it's not. You know, I don't know how many times, and I said this throughout the whole season, Astros are streaky.
Yeah.
The Nationals haven't been in this situation necessarily, right? They've been a very good second half team. Don't get me wrong. But the Astros were down 0-1 in Houston, going into New York. We came back and won that series. Like I said, less than 7 games.
Yeah.
We have been in a situation where pitching has been phenomenal in Tampa Bay. They pushed us to 5 games, right? So it's not like we cannot be beat, but it's not like we cannot come back and be phenomenal and take this series back. I wouldn't be surprised if we came back to Houston and we could come back 3-2 coming back to Houston, or we could even come back 2-3, and I still feel good.
Yeah.
Because of the pitchers that we have.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind. But you know, in no way, shape, or form have I waved the white flag yet, and I'm not even close to it. Game 3 is a huge game. Huge game.
Yeah. Like
I said, the closest to win or go home game that we've had all season long. But we got Greinke for a reason, and I'm a rest my hopes on him, and I have no problem doing that because I believe in this team. I believe we got here for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so discouraging, the difference of, you look at the ALCS with the Yankees. I mean, we were able to take game 2, so of course, taking that momentum into New York was a big thing, and so now we're down 0-2 going into it. So I'm not going to say the team's morale is down. Like, I have no idea. For all I know, they feel great, and that's what I would hope. But I think that's where all of this is coming from, especially from whatever fans you've been hearing, and probably the outrage. Probably Yankees fans are having a ball right now. I can only
see.
hear.
I never understood the fact that a fan of another team can hope for your loss. That it makes no sense to me. Not in any situation. So, for example, say you're a Yankee fan, right? Now you cheer on the Nationals because you're mad that your team lost to my team or the Houston Astros. But you're just hating. I mean, but that's a hater move.
But that's especially the Yankees. Anybody who is either, I guess, a Sox fan or whoever, it's the same thing. It's like, like my favorite team is the Sox. Oh, I have 2 favorite teams, the Sox and whoever's playing the Yankees. Like, you never heard of that? Same thing with the Cowboys. I heard the same thing. See, my favorite team is the Texans, and then whoever plays the Cowboys, because they just want to see, that's like their rival or whatever.
But you just admitted that you're a hater.
Yeah,
you're hating because the other team is so good.
Think about it. It's sports. I would probably, it's fair to say 60% or if not more of sports fans, especially the ones that are like die hard. Oh, dude, they're all haters, because when you're a team of like when you are a supporter of a team, for obviously whatever rivals, you already hate them, so you want them to lose at all times. And then if you are good enough to go into, let's say, playoffs, if you lose to a certain team, there's no way you want that team to win.
Hold on. Here's my thing. Like, I don't like, for instance, the Dallas Cowboys. I do not care or mind the Dallas Cowboy team actually winning or losing. I don't give a shit, to be honest with you. But what bothers the hell out of me is the Dallas Cowboy fans. They are so obnoxious, so unrealistic, that it just drives me to a happy place when I see them miserable and they lose. And so I don't understand where the Yankees have a leg to stand on, especially the way that Houston is so accommodating to outside fans. I remember going to Cubs games, right? Yeah. And when we were losing 100 games a season, they would dominate Minute Maid Park. Yeah. Every time a Cub would reach first base, you could hear the cheers, and I hated that because they were in our house. But I never disrespect or never. Not to say that nobody's ever disrespected a fan from another city or another place, but the treatment that came out for our Houston Astros fans going to New York and just participating and being a fan and representing the Houston Astros. Yeah. Listen, I know there's bad apples, but damn, that made the Yankees fans look horrible.
Yeah, I was really pissed when I saw that. And unfortunately, that wasn't the first time. It probably won't be the last. I don't know if anything is ever going to be done on like a higher level, when it comes to that, if they're ever going to be addressed. And it's just like, look, when I first saw that, and if you don't know, we're talking about when these 3 fans from Houston.
Well, let's chronicleize it. So you had Josh Reddick came out and he was complaining that when we won that first game in the game 3 in New York, they were throwing bottles and different objects at him. Yeah, during the game. So AJ Hinch literally said, if the Yankee Stadium doesn't do anything about it, I'm pulling my players off the field. Yeah. So he had to threaten to do that in order. So then people started getting arrested. Before Zach Greinke came out and he pitched.
Oh,
They
man.
came out and they kicked the fan. I'm not too sure if he got arrested, but they kicked the fan out for making fun of his anxiety disorder that he has. And then that's when you saw the video that you posted.
That wasn't even just the fan though. I think that they and that's the thing. One of the things that I hate the most, because there could be a bad apple or two, but then it starts and it spreads, and then when they turn it into chants, and it's like, yo, like
it was a chain of events. Yeah.
And so this happened. I don't know if it happened 2 years. I'm pretty sure it did. I also heard about it happening last year, and even people this year, where people were chanting to Astros fans Harvey.
I know, right?
They were chanting Harvey. I don't know what the exact chant was. It was just Harvey, go Harvey, whatever. But if that's not one of the most disgusting things that I've ever heard as far as sports, as far as for like, what are you accomplishing there? You know what I mean? Like that's absolutely,
and that happened
terrible.
in New York as well, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not saying that they wouldn't do it here. I wouldn't say they wouldn't do it here, because I feel like those fans are fucking stupid enough to do that here in a city where they're completely outnumbered.
I'm saying the New York fans started doing that.
Yeah. But I'm saying on the flip side, if someone was a New York fan that came to Houston and was at the game and started doing that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
we wouldn't be like, no offense to people that went through it, but we would never go into saying something about 9/11.
Yeah.
You know, something that's similar, equivalent to something as devastating as Harvey. You know, I mean, if that even equates.
And it's like, dude, it has nothing to do with the game, with the team, with anything.
But you remember when Chris got into it with that one guy? And he said, we needed Harvey for us to win a championship. That's where it comes from. That type of mentality, that type of just
don't even get me started.
Fan.
Don't even get me started, because that connects directly into something like 9/11. 9/11 specifically.
Right.
Like, are you stupid? Do you even know why 9/11 happened? All right, I'm not.
Time out.
But I'm just saying, like, let's just isolate that incident, right? Or so the one I was talking about was the one where there's 3 Houston fans, and they were at Game 5. So the last game in New York, the ALCS, and I think by this point we were getting towards the end of the game. They had already, I think, we're already up, we're already about to win, and hearing from this guy's name, his name is Cruz. And I think he had like 2 other people with him. And then all these Yankees fans were, I think he was just walking up. Yankees fans.
They were getting harassed in their seats. So Yankee security goes to them and says, we need to remove you from this situation for your own safety. But as they're moving up, that's when people started recording. And he's over there throwing the H's up. I loved it.
And he was all he was doing. He was doing 3-1 because they were up
3-1
because they were up
with the
or whatever.
H.
Yeah, 3-1.
That was so good.
I was like, yo, he's not being verbal. He's not yelling at anybody. He's not attacking anybody.
Oh, but he was getting it. He was being attacked. He was getting.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, beer is tossed on him.
Soda.
So if you listen
popcorn.
to the story that he was saying, is that he was saying like there's some dude even like went up to him and was like a Yankees fan and was like, hey, let's take a selfie.
Oh, I know.
So they took a selfie, and then he's like, hey, this will be funny. And then he went and slapped the nacho. I guess he had like nachos or something in his hand. He slapped the nachos out of his hand. And I guess the guy Cruz knew it was coming, so he kind of moved a little bit, but it still got like cheese and chips and stuff all over him, and I think some other people.
That was an asshole.
I think that's the moment when the security came and pulled them, and then as he was walking up the stairs, that's when we see the video, and some dude fully like almost like a half cup of beer just tosses on him, and you see the girl that's behind him, the girl that he's with, is totally like shocked, and I give props to this guy, because this guy the whole time is just
he's taking it like a champ. Yeah,
and I'm like,
he
dude,
never. You know what though? What's really cool?
I could fucking never, man.
Right.
I don't care how outnumbered I am. Mama ain't raised no bitch, dude. Fuck that, man. I'm sorry.
No. You have to understand the situation.
Man, I do. Yeah.
You're not in Houston. You're in New York.
Agreed.
And it's one versus.
But does that not trigger you when you watch something
like
that?
Like, yeah. No.
For sure. The disrespect.
Like that dude would never come over to Houston and do that. You know, like he felt sure of himself because he was surrounded by Yankee fans. You know what I mean? Like he was like, I have security in numbers. But
you see that video when that was recorded in the bathroom?
No.
So I don't know if this is from this year, but I'm gonna assume it was. I think this just came out.
Yo, we could throw all kinds of it. You're gonna assume it is right now.
I'm just saying it was. I'm guessing it was at the Yankee Stadium, also in New York, and some guys started recording from the bathroom behind the urinals. Like, so it's a wall of urinals, and it's all Yankees fan, and then one Astros fan wearing an Astros jersey. And of course, the guy starts recording or whatever, and then there's people yelling at him. And the guy in front of the guy recording, there's some guy throws like a whole beer.
Oh my god!
At the guy while he's peeing, and it gets on like the guy next to him too, and it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And like you're like cup and all, like it's not even just the
beer,
liquid.
The liquid.
It's the, you know what I mean? Like,
it's unfortunate. You got fans like that. Hopefully, that's not the norm of New York, because
no,
I'll tell you what,
I'll never say that, and I'll never see, because that's how it made me feel. It made me feel the first sentiment it made me feel was definitely fuck Yankees fans, all of them.
Yeah,
but I know that they're not all like that, and I know that they get the bad rep for that, just because out of anybody, they're that franchise that is. I mean, if you look at the statistics as far as how good they are of a team and how good they are of a dynasty, obviously they're the most storied franchise in all of sports. 27 championships out of 40 World Series appearances. I mean, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know what the organization did as speaking for the Yankee organization.
Yeah,
but
see,
Tampa Bay,
but fans use that.
No,
almost,
but Tampa Bay literally congratulated us when we beat them.
No, I know that. They said even when before that, they said they got on our Instagram account and said, please beat the Yankees. They commented and said, please beat the Yankees. See? So I mean, it's almost like, what does that say? What does that say about a franchise like the Yankees? And I have no disrespect to them.
But I like dynasties. I think dynasties are important for for things like the Evil Empire, which the Yankees are associated with.
I don't think that they do anything wrong as a team. I don't have any problem with the team.
Right.
It's more so those bad apples as fans, which unfortunately get a lot more airtime than the ones that are good, which are probably 90%. You know, I saw a video who guy came out and said that. He was a Yankees fan himself, and he said that is disgusting, but it's if you want to put the numbers of how many Yankees fans there are out there in the world and in New York alone, it's probably only 10% of them that would be like that. And I don't know if that's a real number. That's still a lot. That's still a lot. But you know, like I'll say, and I'm proud to be an Astros fan. I would think that we don't have bad apples like that. I'm sure there are.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But I just don't think something like that would happen though. Here in Houston, you know what I mean? I just don't think.
Man, we got unruly fans too, but I don't know. I mean, luckily so far we haven't had that situation come up. There was no viral videos coming out of Houston. I'll tell you that much. So, unfortunate. But did you know that there's something else that happened on Tuesday besides the World Series?
What could that be?
Well, I don't know if anybody outside of Houston actually knows the answer to this, or inside of Houston, excuse me. But the NBA has officially started, and it started on Tuesday. And I can almost promise you the numbers out of Houston were at an all-time low.
What's the
yeah. So during my
ain't nobody in Houston watching basketball until tomorrow. Isn't that funny how that worked out?
What's that?
Our first game is
that's amazing how that worked out.
Is during the break.
So the Rockets, of course, like you were saying, haven't played yet. Game 1,
Red Nation,
tomorrow
baby.
night. And who do we play? Yeah, but this is an old poster. I still got Chris
let's
and the signature.
Let's check out the. You can see there. Oh, there's only one signature on her. Oh, who's that?
The guy
CP3.
no longer. Oh man.
Zucchi.
So we play tomorrow. First game.
We got the Bucks.
Oh,
Milwaukee.
MVP versus MVP. Actually, I want to later on. I want to get into our MVP picks, but so
I have no idea. But
yesterday, kind of going on to what we were talking about from last episode, Chris went in on LeBron James. Yesterday's LeBron James and the LA Lakers first game, and they played the LA Clippers. LA Clippers were the home team, but it did not necessarily sound like it. Especially at the beginning of the game when the Lakers were up 11.
Nation.
But going back to what Chris had brought out, the NBA on TNT and their panel hadn't spoken up to this point that I know of. But Shaq yesterday finally spoke on Daryl Morey. And he literally said Daryl Morey was right about that situation. He was right to speak out. Hey, I was like, cool, finally. Somebody that actually has business in China has been a spokesperson for a Chinese Chinese product, understands the landscape socially and economically. So to him to come out in support of not necessarily Daryl Morey, but in support of his values, in support of his freedom of speech, I was happily surprised because he is the loudest microphone to be an advocate of Daryl Morey. Even louder, should I say, than Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, which I appreciated the way he handled it too, because you gotta walk that fine line, that tightrope, because you do have a lot of businesses between the two. So for Shaquille O'Neal to come out and say that, I appreciated it even more. And for him to have such a hard stance on that and be completely unapologetic, that even gave him more brownie points. So the one thing that I think that Shaq came out and said specifically was that China knows who we are as well. We know China. We know that they're communist, but we also know we're doing business. But for China to be doing business with us, they know we're democratic. They know we stand for equality. They know we stand for freedom of speech. So for them to be offended about our values, about our situation, meant a lot to me because, listen, we're both in this boat. We're both in this ride. And we're both in business together. So, yes, we might have conflicts of, say, values or just beliefs politically. But eventually that's going to come up, whether it's Daryl Morey speaking out or whether it's any other political situation or landscape that our values are going to be conflicted. Our values are not necessarily conflicted, but just we think differently. Mm-hmm. You know, we don't stand on the same platform. Mm-hmm. And so China knows what they're in bed with. China, they can't necessarily be like, oh, we didn't know. No, you did.
Yeah.
You did. You know that we're democratic.
Yeah. Hey,
man, you're lying in this bed too. And I appreciated, like I said, I appreciated that Shaq said that.
Yeah, no, that Shaq is definitely a real one for that. I didn't get to watch the clip. Were you able to understand him, or was he?
No, but he was. What I liked about it is he was very poignant and he was very unapologetic, and that's something that was very refreshing coming from somebody that's involved in the game, not only economically in between the two countries, but also such a big part of the NBA in general, whether it's a spokesperson, a Hall of Famer, or whatever. You know, I appreciate
and such a revered member of the exact team that Mr. LeBron James is representing right now, you know?
And he even, like, I honestly think he was a slight dig. He goes, it's unfortunate for both parties. I'm literally quoting him. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate for both parties in this situation. And you got people speaking out on something that they don't know what they're talking about. And I think that's specifically talking to and about LeBron James, his own, I guess, alumni at this point, you know?
Yeah, because he said what they're talking about, but then after that he said Daryl Morey is right. So who are you talking about that doesn't know what they're talking about? Right. You know what I mean? It's like it's obviously LeBron. And that, like I said in our last episode, that was my biggest pet peeve or just peeve about that, how he could come out and say something so accusatory, but in true effect of it is it really you're just it's really yourself you just called out right there, you know, because making that statement kind of proved that you were the one that was uneducated in that moment. Right. So it's like why would you even say that? You know, like, so it was.
Do you think he's hurt his legacy, LeBron James?
I think as a player?
No, I think as a social advocate of just somebody that has a stance of change, a stance of trying to make his situation better, not necessarily him, but his community better, you know?
I think short term, maybe yes, but unfortunately, and I'm not gonna wish on that on him. I don't believe, you know, like I said, I don't believe in like the cancel culture. Like, I just think he made a mistake, and my only wish for him is to grow from it and, you know, kind of man up about it, and then just see where he can move forward and be better about this so-called freedom of speech, and, you know, be smart about what you say, do your research and things like that. At the end of the day, I don't think it will. I just think, you know, and maybe this is just my pessimistic point of view or whatever, but I think people's attention spans are too short. People forgive people, have forgiven people for doing much worse.
Right.
And something like this is not something that he was directly connected to. You know what I mean? It wasn't the root of all of this wasn't started by him. He was almost just commenting on it. So I think at the end of the day, it's people are just kind of gonna see it as it is, and it's like,
I will say this: he will be. I will be. I think that yes, he has damaged his image in a sense of being a social, should we say, social justice warrior, right? I think that in a larger sense that it's given people ammo. People that didn't like him, i.e. Chris, but not only just Chris isn't on the same platform as the other people I'm gonna mention, but the right side that say that he just should shut up and dribble, basically just be a basketball player and that's it. It's gonna give them ammo. And then people that used to ride with him that kind of felt like he was more or less of a turncoat when it came to something that was politically dividing two countries, and he seemed like to choose another country over ours, especially our values and our views of it. I think that those people that were rocking with him before will be the same people that will continue memes, that will continue different social media I guess content and tweets and messages that will, every time he tries to take a step forward in social justice, will basically say, we don't believe you. You know, you can do all you want, you can showboat all you want, but Jason Whitlock has always criticized Colin Kaepernick for standing kneeling for what he believes in as a means to make money off of it, to profit from protesting, right? Now people have ammo to say that LeBron James will, from now on, he's just protesting for profit. You get what I'm saying? They're gonna use this against him. Yeah. I don't know.
If anything, he's profiting from speaking out against protesting.
Hey, you know,
like. Exactly. That's exactly the situation. So that was the other half of it. That was the frustrating part, because at the end of it all, you got a piece of the pie. You know what I mean? That's that's what makes this frustrating, is because if you were anybody else or somebody that didn't have the business that you have saying the things that you said, maybe not as bad. It's still something that is an uneducated thing to say, but now not as only uneducated, but it's uneducated with a motive.
Exactly. And that's the worst part. That's the worst part of it. The hypocrisy that lies within this, and the hypocrisy that will lie when he speaks out against something later. And that's the main point. That's what, to me, means so much to come from Shaq. Now I want to know.
But they lost, so it don't even matter.
Listen, everybody. Can I be honest with you? I don't think they're going to be as bad. But remember at the beginning of the season when everybody was talking about the Cleveland Browns, they got Odell Beckham Jr. They have
This was the same Lakers talk from last year. I remember this. I mean, I'm sure it's even worse now because they have AD. But last year was the fucking homecoming of
If you got
Jesus,
to watch the game, you can tell that here, LeBron James, you take the ball. I'm going to stand in the corner. Oh, Anthony Davis, your turn. I'm going to stand in the corner. There's going to be growing pains. But this Laker team does not do it for me. Past the starting five, they have no bench. You have Kuzma who's going to come back. I don't even know if at any point I saw Rajon Rondo. So literally they got outscored. The bench got outscored like 16-60, if I'm not mistaken. Ridiculous numbers from the Clippers. The moment that Lewis Williams and Montrezl Harrell came in, completely changed. Like that. Their bench,
Lou
it was
Williams,
so
man.
much. Huh?
Forever the sixth man of the year, Mr. Lou Williams.
Their bench completely changed that game.
Yeah.
The fire that Beverly has worries me. Because I remember how much he was and how much he meant to the Houston Rockets especially when we were playing
Scrappy
the
dog,
Oklahoma
man.
City Thunder and Russell Westbrook. I always say Wilson. And Russell Westbrook. But now the roles have changed. He's on another team, and Russell Westbrook is playing with us. It's very early to tell, but I have the Clippers and the Rockets in a 2-team race in the West. I can probably say that they are a 2-team race in the entire NBA. Everybody else is, injuries notwithstanding, because the Clippers look so well and they don't even have Paul George.
Yeah.
The one thing that I think is very important for Houston Rockets and Russell Westbrook and James Harden is to come out and just blow so much fire at the beginning of the season so we can stay up there and just, be one of the top teams at the end of and get home court advantage by the time the playoff comes around. Hopefully we'll be number one, which I don't think is far from possible. I think it's completely in the realm of happening, but it's Houston Rockets. It's the LA Clippers. LA Lakers are going to be like, if they're good, they even make the top 8 in the West, they're going to be like 6. I think they're going to be 6, from 4 to 6. And that's stretching it to me. From 4 is like best case scenario for me.
Damn.
And I the Bucks are the Bucks understood where they needed to get better at, and they're gonna come out even bigger,
they're taking
stronger. I think they will. I don't. Toronto, listen. Most improved player is gonna be Siakam from Toronto.
Pascal, yeah.
That dude is so lengthy and long and hard to guard.
Yeah.
I think that Kawhi Leonard taught him spacing.
Yeah.
And Siakam's gonna be most improved player. Giannis is not gonna just go for the stats. He doesn't care anymore. He just wants to win a championship. He's gonna be more about getting his team better, getting to the championship and winning the championship. But unfortunately, he's not going to win the championship. The MVP, I don't know if this is a good thing or bad thing, but the MVP, I've said it for the past 2 or 3 years now, is going to be James Harden.
Woo!
He is the most unstoppable player.
We haven't even played a game yet, John.
Well,
don't you be jinxing it now.
I'm telling you, it's just something about James Harden I've never seen another human being do since Michael Jordan. Look.
That was my first pick in the NBA fantasy draft I did a couple days ago. Mr. Harden, so...
Who else was there? Is there the pick? But were you the number one?
I
pick?
Was the number 2 pick.
Who picked number 1?
AD. It's not a bad pick. I've had AD for the past 2 years, and 2 years ago he wasn't bad. He didn't do me bad, but last year he just got to stay healthy.
Hey.
And he just.
I just don't.
He was already halfway out, and that was another thing that was like, come on, man. So,
is there anything that you've seen in the preseason that worries you about the Houston Rockets?
I really don't even think preseason. I don't know how much preseason really says about a team. It says mostly because of how much starters don't play, except for James Harden.
Right.
Which
he's averaging like 37 in the preseason.
If anything, that does tell me that he's hungry, he's ready,
right,
and he's excited for this year. I think. I remember I asked you this last time, like how we felt about when Chris Paul first came to Houston versus how we feel about Russell, right? And I was excited when Chris Paul was coming. And I'd known he is past his prime. He's getting older, but he's not a bad player. I don't think he was a bad addition. I figured that it would work, but I didn't know how well, right? And I think it did work for the time being, but there was always something still missing. And then you saw the inconsistency of Chris Paul as well in his play and the holes that he left unfilled. And so when I look at a team now and looking at the lineup we have with Westbrook and seeing how excited he is, like, man, it fires me up. So I would like to think that, when you ask about preseason, the fact that he's out there, like saying like, man, most people are like, no, coaches would be like, no, you're not playing. I don't want you to get injured. I don't want you to tire yourself. And Harden is like, no, I'm good.
Right.
Put me out there.
I think it's incredible how his stamina is. It's just, you watch Kawhi Leonard, phenomenal player.
Yeah.
He has a chance to be an MVP this year. But you watch him, and he's one speed. It's not like he's dribbling a bunch, crisscrossing over, attacking the basket all the time. It's one speed. And he looks to get the advantage every time, whether it's a pick, whether it's a screen, whether it's coming off a screen, whether it's just a mid-range jump shot that he gets a ball passed to him. His spacing is phenomenal. Whereas James Harden, and don't get me wrong, the best offensive player I've ever seen in my adult life, because I was a kid watching Michael Jordan, but the best offensive player I've ever seen is James Harden, but it looks so much harder for him to get points than Kawhi Leonard does. Kawhi Leonard could sneakily give you 32 and 8 boards and like 4 assists. Whereas,
that's how I feel about Steph.
Right.
Steph is kind of that unorthodox, like he's got handles, but it's very unorthodox. He doesn't look like he's going to cross you up, and then he does. And then also the fact that he could shoot just about from anywhere in that stadium.
Right.
He could be sitting in the fucking 14th row and probably put up a bucket, which is great. Not to say that Harden couldn't, but that's real dangerous.
There's only one thing that worries me is I didn't mind it when Chris Paul was playing point and they took turns with the ball. And sometimes it looked like Chris Paul wasn't even playing on the team on the court. It was James Harden, that's it. And it's not a problem because we won so much and the offense doesn't necessarily get stagnant because James is such a good passer. The problem lies when you have somebody that's better than Chris Paul that you have to utilize. He has the ability to utilize the entire team, but because of his passing, because obviously he's led the league in assists more than 1 year. He's a triple-double machine sleeping. But if
you think he'll get another
James Harden, huh?
You think he'll get another triple-double?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. But if James Harden does not participate in the offense while Russell Westbrook has the ball, then he's eliminating part of Westbrook's game. And that's going to hinder our team. So he has to – I saw it when James Harden would take plays off and Chris Paul would have the ball. And James Harden wouldn't involve himself in the offense. So for him to do that with Westbrook, that does sound some alarms to me. I do have a little trepidation because not necessarily in the regular season, but in the postseason versus somebody like the LA Clippers, that will be a focal point. That will be a point where they will emphasize, okay, as long as James Harden doesn't have the ball, he's not going to be involved in the offense. So it'll be guarding 5 against 4.
Yeah.
You know, so there was one other thing that happened this past weekend. One of my favorite parts of the show. We all made 6 picks on an infamous pick 6. Man, it was a tough week. Tougher week for
your boy comes out on top again.
Christopher Rodriguez. So,
yeah. I should just do. That one clap is for your one correct pick, Chris.
Wow. Yeah, Chris has had a tough week. 1 out of 6.
Man.
I myself hit 50-50. And Mr. Khoa, congratulations. 3rd week in a row with the win, I believe, with 4 and 6. But
guess what, though? We got burned by the Cowboys once again. Now the opposite way.
Hold
Good
on.
God,
did I not pick the Cowboys?
we all picked the Eagles, man.
Wow. I thought I picked the Cowboys. Oh, no. Because I thought I learned my lesson. All right? So
I feel like they're listening on the goddamn podcast. They're saying, you know what?
Right.
We finally going to get our shit together.
I got my 49er pick, right? Did you watch the game at all? The 49ers?
I saw highlights.
Was that
mess. The 9-0?
It was a mess. No touchdowns.
No.
Nobody could keep footing. You saw every sack. The linemen were just like sliding.
That's right.
The field in
I saw that
water.
when they made that last sack and they're like in the end of the 4th quarter and all the linemen just went and slid.
That
like
was
it was
amazing.
a slip and slide.
They were all mad.
That was awesome.
The Redskins fans were all mad.
Yeah, I did not know the weather was going to be that bad. We should have probably looked that up. That was a terrible.
I mentioned it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That was a terrible game.
Yeah.
The kickers were missing left and right.
Oh, my God.
Robbie Gold looking like a fucking
it ended
like
up being
rookie.
9-0.
9-0, yeah. 3 field goals, no touchdowns.
So the one game, of course, Houston always focuses on in a big divisional rivalry is the Texans versus the Indianapolis Colts. Chris and Khoa picked the Texans. It's so hard. I think you looked it up last week. The Texans, all time, since their inception, have only won in Indianapolis 2 times.
3. Well, 3 out of the last 4. We've won a couple more than that.
Okay.
But the statistics overall not on our side.
Right.
It's like overwhelming. It's like 27.
They got a better team.
Something
they got
like
a
that.
better, not a better team per se, but a better team than years
Say
past.
they got a better quarterback. Just say it. I can hear Chris fuming now.
No offense, but I think they got a better coach. You hear all this talk about analytics, somebody that incorporates analytics into their system, into their coaching decisions, into their coaching plays, period. The game plan for the Colts almost is always on point, and it looks like that they're in every game. Now, they may be better in Indianapolis because they're on their home field, but I do not And all this stuff that I was saying, I do not think that the Houston Texans, are very far from the Indianapolis Colts. And I think that Indianapolis Colts, in general, a 4-2 team, are phenomenal, right? We're right there. And I'll go back to a 6-1 team with the Saints. We lost by 3 points. I'll go to, again, the Indianapolis Colts. We lost by a touchdown, who are a 4-2 team. And if you look at the other game that we lost,
we've only lost by a score or less
versus the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
We lost by 6 points.
Yeah.
So we're in every game. We're right there. Even in our losses, we're right there. And we got a new offensive line that's gelling and looking like they're improving every game. Of course, Deshaun Watson is damn near MVP right now. Let me see. Our coaching, there's hiccups here and there, but it's getting better.
Let me ask you this: what do you feel about that sack? What was it? Remember in the end zone or not in the red zone? That would have been a touchdown.
I completely disagreed with that call.
I was so pissed when I saw that.
Football is the only sport that I feel like there's hidden rules, and it goes back to that rule's been in since 1990.
This goes okay. So, I'm gonna get to that one later when I was thinking in my head. But
there was a different one.
When you're talking about calls, there's another one from
the one I'm talking about is the
I'm talking about the Patriots game. They had a call. No. The original one I'm talking about, yes, is the one where they called it a sack. He got hit.
No.
He got hit, and then
what is it? Grab the.
Well, I see. I don't know what the verbiage on the rule is. Right, you can look it up. But if you haven't seen it, we're on probably like our own 10 or 15. Right, we're looking to get a touchdown. Deshaun Watson gets hit, but doesn't go down. And then he kind of circles around. He kind of gets hit again, and then he puts his hand down because he's stopping himself from touching the ground. And then he gets back up, and as he's being hit from the bottom, from the legs, I think he's being grabbed and about to go down. He tosses it, end zone, touchdown. But then they blew the whistle and said that he was down because, well, if you've seen it, they have been doing this to players. That when they catch the ball or they're running or even quarterbacks that, let's say it usually happens when, let's say you're the player with the ball, and it's usually like at least like 2 or 3 players, and let's say that you're still able to drag them, but you're not really making any more progression. Right. You can't break out of it, so they'll just call you down instead of like forcing you to actually go down. And I know the reason why it's for safety. It's to save the player at risk to be injured, because what if you go down weird? What if you tear an ACL, break an ankle, something like that. I get the precautions behind it, but the problem is that it's never consistent. It's always at the referee's discretion. It's the same thing as like a TKO in boxing. I don't think, for the most part, that one is more like, okay, you can't continue because your head's not there. You got a concussion, whatever. I feel like then the case to be made there makes a little more sense. Whereas sometimes here, and I think that call itself, as you said, and as other people say, it's egregious. That damn word, fucking egregious. Because that call, I think, was egregious. So, and Deshaun Watson himself even reposted that play on Twitter, I believe. He reposted that clip and captioned it SMH, shaking my head.
So I can't remember exactly the word that they use, but for the actual ruling, but basically, like you were saying, that they ruled him down for his protection. But immediately within that same play, after he releases the ball, somebody hits him. So shouldn't that be considered roughing the passer? It's like, okay, you call this one play, and he's considered down.
See, roughing the passer is also one of those calls. It's at the referee's discretion. Because sometimes you'll see quarterbacks get hit, but they don't call it usually because they feel like either it's a clean hit The defender was already in motion, like they had already made the lunge or whatever before the ball had been released. So at that point, you can't do anything about your body. You know what I mean? Like it's different things, but it goes back to the same question: what is a catch? One of the things that you would imagine that is so easy to be defined, but yet nobody knows what a damn catch is. So nobody knows what a sack is. Nobody knows what is it to be down. What is it to, And I think that they really need to clarify those things and like really make like, I don't know, like there should be like a checklist, I guess, of things that should happen for you to call something like that. But there wasn't. It's just kind of like, well, we think that's going to be a good call, so we call it.
Like on its own, I disagree with the call as far as him being down, but that was a phenomenal play. I mean, that was going
and
down.
That's the frustrating part. Because even if he didn't make that throw, or if he made it and nothing had happened from it, he didn't catch it, I would still be mad that he got called down because he didn't get the chance to have that play be made. But then it was made technically. You know what I mean? And that's what's the frustrating part, where it's like, dude,
I don't see how they called it and they said he stopped going forward. That's not true. He fell forward.
Yeah.
His knee never touched the ground. And he not only did he fall forward, he was getting back up and made the throw motion and made the completion that should have been a touchdown.
Because he is a smart player and he knows what it means to be down. So that's why he put his hand out, made sure that not his elbow, not his leg, not his knee, nothing else was touching the ground, put himself back up just in time to make that throw. That was a genius of Deshaun Watson, yet no reward to it because they said, nope.
Going back to the original point, things like that, they're so close that
it could turn the tide.
Right. But what I'm saying is, those little corrections that we can make here and there makes us somewhere from a 5-1 team to a 6-0 team. It's just one score, one mistake. The first game with the Saints, there was chances. The kicker has missed field goals. Little things like that. I think that changes the complexity of the game and gives us a whole much outlook of the Texans and where they are in the state of the situation that the Texans are in than their 4-3 record suggests. I think they're a really, really good team and getting better. And by the end of this year, we could put something special up, just like last year. Maybe we are having the trend of being a second half team of the season. So we ran off 8 or 9 in a row last year. I could see us do the same thing. I would love to see the progression that we have in the Indianapolis Colts are a great reflection of how we progress when they come here. When we come here, and if it's like a blowout, you can see how much better a team we become. And if it's something close, I expect us to win 100%. Now, I expect all of my picks to be 100%. So we're gonna go to this week's pick.
Let me mention that one play I was talking about.
That's right. Yeah, what were you talking about?
So I don't remember the exact play, but I'm pretty sure it was in the Patriots game. Who did they play? Last week.
I think it was
a bunch of nobodies probably. But the call was, I think Edelman was a receiver. Brady made a throw, and then you're looking for, I think right when I saw it, I was like, oh, dude, that's PI. It's got to be PI.
Pass interference?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's got to be a PI. And so they threw the flag. They threw the flag, and then...
New York Jets. How could I forget? That was a horrible one.
Oh, yeah. They threw the flag, and then they got on the mic and said, there is no flag. The ball was uncatchable.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So...
But what was the controversy?
Well, to me, I feel like that's not consistent either. When they make that call, with whether a ball is catchable or not, because I've seen many PI calls being given when the ball is even way more uncatchable than that one, because that one wasn't even.
Yeah.
It was a little ahead, but it wasn't.
Was
to
it
where,
in favor of the Patriots or it was against the Patriots?
I think it was against the Patriots, or maybe I had it switched around. It was against whoever the call. I think it was Brady and the Patriots.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. I don't think
Like
it would.
they
I don't
need
think it
more
would.
help.
I don't think it would. Yeah,
It didn't change the outcome of the game.
It wouldn't have helped the Jets either way. He was out there seeing ghosts. But
I know. I heard they got mad that it came out that he said that.
Oh yeah. I mean, to be fair, yeah, you can make that argument, but dude, there's no privacy there. Don't ever think that. I mean, you're on national TV.
Yeah, but
any player, you are the quarterback. So basically, the one with the most spotlight on you. You know what I mean? There's microphones.
But I'm
everywhere.
sure they
There's
set up
everywhere.
Yeah, they set up little things that you can't.
I'm not
say,
saying it wasn't
and can't
shady
release.
the way that they did it. Yeah, because the agenda of the media, of course, it's always to get headlines, right? So I do agree in that sense where it's like that's kind of like now you're just kicking a dog when he's down, kind of deal.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like you said it. He didn't have to say that. Like, were you really seeing ghosts? And it looked like it, man. He looked spooked. It was frustrating to watch. It was like I wanted him to, like at least feel comfortable.
Well, it's something ridiculous that no rookie quarterback has ever beaten Bill Belichick. It's something like it goes back to 20 some odd years. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, credits to them. They're still holding up their end of the bargain and being the best defense in the NFL.
Speaking of Tom Brady, some came out very interesting to me, and it raised up eyebrows just of the possibility. So apparently, Tom Brady, according to Adam Schefter, has put his house on sale. Tom Brady's main business partner, and trainer, put his house on sale. The agent and Tom Brady's agent and him have put together the contract as it is in a way that he could void his contract out at the end of the season. And then he goes on the radio in Boston and is very non-committal to his future of the Patriots. He says, we'll see after the season. So Adam Schefter's along the thought process of Tom Brady is looking to get out of New England by the end of the year. Right? This will be his last year as a quarterback. And honestly, do you see Tom Brady ever being anything but a Patriot? Because to me, Tom Brady has a golden contract that he can sign whenever he wants to be the New England Patriots quarterback for however long he wants. So do you see him going anywhere else?
Absolutely not.
Wouldn't it be extremely weird to see him in any other uniform?
And it's funny because, I mean, think about it. You look at the NBA now and you look at, I think the NBA specifically, but I mean, a lot of these sports, I mean, people are shifting around and there's less and less true franchise players. But, I mean, I think Tom Brady is one of the last. And, there's only a few, I feel like. I think in generations past, there have been much more. As far as people that have been truly committed to their team and to their organization. But now it's like you have people switching around left and right. Someone like Brady, I don't see it.
And not only that,
and it's not like he's stopping.
Reasons.
Yeah, and it's not like he's looking to stop playing. He's come out and said that he feels good enough to play for another 6, 7, 8 years. I don't know if that's really going to happen, but do you think he's trying to get out?
I don't know.
Because if he's leaving, I'm thinking he's retiring. He's not going to.
I think that the Jimmy Garoppolo thing pissed him off, and I didn't believe until kind of sort of lately where his relationship with Bill Belichick's not the same. I think if you look at Bill Belichick giving Tom Brady the game ball the other day, it looked awkward. Like Tom Brady was surprised. Like, it's coming from you? Tom Brady has, has publicly said that, just like any relationship, there's ups and downs, and he didn't deny that there was different sentiments throughout the season between him and the front office or Bill Belichick or whoever is the head man in charge. But competitively speaking, Tom Brady, I think, does not like the whole aspect of people thinking that he's only probably good because of the coach. And like, if you look at it, the coach has set up this team defensively. He proved himself offensively, right? But he had to put in his work as a game manager at the beginning. Remember when he first came in? He wasn't Tom Brady, like throwing 50 touchdowns in a season.
Yeah.
He had to earn that, and he had to get the coach's trust and build up to that. Now it's regressing to the point where we're not getting you wide receivers and getting the best offensive players available.
Hello, Sanu.
See,
they brought in Sanu to be the next quarterback, dude.
And they lost Josh Gordon.
Or maybe they didn't.
No, he's gone. He's went to IR. He can't play for the Patriots. And then what's funny is Josh Gordon has come out and said that he's going to be ready within a short period of time. So he's essentially a free agent. But they go get Mohamed Sanu, who, in my opinion, is the third best wide receiver coming off of the
he
1-6.
has been for a while.
1-6 Atlanta Falcons.
That doesn't mean he can't be a key player on the Patriots, though. I feel like that's the one thing that I'll always give Brady and the Patriots is that whoever they've had, they've made it work. Whether they have whether it's going to be Randy Moss or Philip Dorsett or these other ones that are, you know what I mean? Like
Philip Dorsett, really?
Yeah.
Name me. What besides week 1 when he had 2 touchdowns? Name me another game that he had anything worth of fantasy value, at least.
That's fantasy. Hey, I have him on like 3 of my teams.
Yeah, and he's been on your bench ever since game 1.
Guess what their record is?
Okay.
So
I'm talking about
credit
like,
to their defense, but I'm not talking about fantasy. I'm just talking about them as a team. Like he is. I feel like he is going to be.
His running backs make more catches than his wide receivers.
And that's totally fine.
No, it's not.
Because that's what you think that they need someone like a Randy Moss. I mean, that would be nice. No,
I'm looking at Tom Brady, the quarterback.
But you're saying as if that move was a bad move.
No, I think that's. Let me placate him. Let me act like I'm actually trying to help him out. They don't give a shit. Their defense is the upper echelon of the entire NFL right now.
So where's he going then? If you think he's going to leave or he wants to leave, where would he go?
Well, shoot. He could literally take the job of, say, everybody but 5 teams.
Yeah.
Like anybody that hasn't invested in the future in, say, Lamar Jackson, he's not going to Baltimore. He's not going to the Houston Texans. He's not going to the Kansas City Chiefs. I honestly think that he could probably do something like the Bills or something like doesn't keep him too far away from his family. And it's on an up-and-coming team, just like an up-and-coming defense, just like i.e. Peyton Manning. But I'm not saying that he's gone, but all points lead to it's either you give me help or I'm out. And give me real help. Not a third string wide receiver from a 1-6 team.
I guess it's hard to think that he is not happy or satisfied in his spot now with them being 6-0. And I know, I mean, is it 6-0, 7-0 or 6, right?
I'm not too sure.
It's
week 7. Week 8 is next week.
Yeah, so I guess they haven't had a bye yet, right? So that would be 7-0.
But either way, they're undefeated. Only 1 or 2 teams besides the New England Patriots.
So I mean, just speaking of that, like that's weird. That's the timing of everything. And it's like, man, you're on, 7-0.
So if you're Bill Belichick, And I haven't even thought of this, but while we were talking, I started thinking about this. If you're Bill Belichick, do you believe that you need Tom Brady anymore? If Tom Brady comes up to you and says, "My way or the highway," what do you tell him?
I would like to believe that they still need him, but knowing someone like Belichick, look at how long Tom Brady has been in the league. Obviously, his career is not going to last 30 years, 40 years, right? They've got to see in the foreseeable future what they're going to do. Right. That was the whole point of picking up Jimmy G. That was the whole point of picking up, what's his name, Jared?
Kobe Brissett?
But now,
Jacoby.
now I'm talking about Jarrett Stidham, right?
This
is backup now. And so they're already trying to groom the next franchise quarterback in line. So I definitely think more now than ever, he is preparing to not need Tom Brady. I think he has been maybe for a little bit, and I think he's tried. That's why we're seeing things like this happen. I don't know, Tom. I know, if anything, he's a hell of a competitor. So I would definitely agree that he probably does have that sentiment of that, because his whole career, since the day he stepped in the NFL, he's played with a chip on his shoulder. I don't think he's ever lost that. It's one thing I do love about Tom Brady.
That's the thing. That's a competition.
That is one thing that I do love and respect about Tom Brady. As much as I don't care for the Patriots, I love him because he's always had that competitive fire. I still remember 199.
And I can easily see him. He goes to the Bills just because he's in the same division as Bill Belichick, and he's gonna want to come back and prove everybody that Bill Belichick wasn't the reason he was special.
Yeah,
but
it's one of those things where I wouldn't be surprised, but I would be completely shocked at the same time.
It's just gonna be weird. Shit, I'll take him on the 49ers for 1 year.
I mean, you could almost compare it to
that'd be a weird
to Kobe
dynamic.
Don't you think Kobe ever thought, man, fuck the Lakers, let me get out of here?
Oh, yeah, 100%. He was gone. Yeah. He was gone. He admits he was gone.
But it's almost the same thing. Maybe, and I don't doubt this, that Tom Brady has had some lengthy discussions with Kobe Bryant and said, hey, you ever think that you should have left? Do you ever look back and regret? And you could neither here nor there, but it's too late now. 2020, hindsight is 2020. Right. I'm sure Kobe is proud that he finished on the same team that he started with, or he was their franchise player for 20 years, and I'm sure Tom Brady would love to have had that too. But if he knows and he feels like he's not at the end of his career yet, and if he sees that he still has 5-6 years in him, like he says he does, and he's not happy where he's at now, yeah, I would. I see him making a move. I just don't know where he would go.
I saw a little regression in Tom Brady. I honestly, just as much as I have doubts about Mohamed Sanu, I have doubts of Tom Brady. I think he's a half a season great player. The defense has probably shielded him more than anything as far as seeing how much he has regressed, because he doesn't have to prove anything offensively just yet.
The true colors haven't been shown yet.
I think you'll see in the second half of the season, but that's
where he shines.
Yeah, well, we'll see. When it comes to playoffs, man, can he do it?
But and that's what I say. When I say that, I won't be surprised. Is the same thing when I thought after Khoa, now I'm just not surprised, but I was totally shocked. I was like, why the fuck are you leaving?
In the last Super Bowl, he didn't throw a touchdown.
Yeah.
And he had an interception.
Yeah.
So that's that. And throughout the playoffs, he wasn't.
He was trying to catch a touchdown. Is what he was trying to do.
But yeah,
didn't happen.
All right, so we're gonna go on to our pick six of the week. Man, it was a tough pick six to choose from. But let's start with
which ones am I gonna win at again? Y'all gotta get better at this, man.
Right.
Chris, you suck.
But there's a lot of obvious picks this week. That's the hard part. Like, for instance, Minnesota and Washington.
It's not
Come
always
on.
obvious.
Yeah, nobody's going to pick anybody but Minnesota, even if you had real money to bet on. And I'm telling you, I don't care if odds are like 100 to 1. You're picking Minnesota.
I'm taking that $1.
Right?
All right, what's the first game?
So, Eagles and the Bills. What's the line?
Eagles and Bills. Let's see.
Eagles at Buffalo.
Where is the Philadelphia? The line is basically a toss-up. I think they got Buffalo by 1.5. At Buffalo.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Man, I've been trying to make sense of all these picks. Eagles are the team that, to me, are supposed to win when they lose, and they're supposed to lose when they win. This one, they're supposed to me, the Bills are the team that is a better team in every aspect except the quarterback, in my opinion, and the wide receiver. But I would pick the Bills normally, but since I think that the Eagles are the underdog in this situation, I'm going to go with the Eagles.
You going Eagles?
Yeah. I've been screwed by them every other way. That sounded bad,
true.
but, you know.
That's true. I mean, I was too. I think out of all the times we did have an Eagles game, I've always picked.
I'm going to try to get
the
Chris's
wrong
pick.
side.
Right. I'm going to try to get Chris's pick.
We'll get Chris's pick too. I think I'm gonna side with the Bills in this one. They're playing at home. They do have one of the elite defenses in the league, and you think it'd be a high-scoring game?
No, not at all. I think that Bills could possibly
Let me see what the
have a lackluster day, and Carson Wentz, man, he has special games every now and then, and I think that the Eagles are gonna put some points up on the board.
Yeah. No, I think I'm gonna go with the Bills. I think it'll be a close game. I think they'll probably edge it out. I say field goal to a touchdown, one of those.
All right. Okay. Probably my game of the week. The Carolina Panthers are traveling to the San Francisco Bay Area to play the 49ers.
Woo!
In Levi Stadium. But
it's not Candlestick Park?
they will not be playing Cam Newton, even though he has practiced this week.
Was Chris right? Is Cam ever going to play another game for the Carolina Panthers? I've been hearing more and more things that support what Chris was saying. That he's on his way out.
Could you possibly see him being traded? Excuse me. Could you possibly see him being traded before the season ends?
I wouldn't be surprised by anything that happens in the world of sports nowadays.
So,
do you think they have that much faith in their quarterback, in Kyle Allen now?
Yes. I the way they manage the game with Kyle Allen is so much more different than Cam Newton.
It makes me think, because I feel like, Cam was the center point of that offense, obviously, when he was playing. But now, like I never questioned it when he was there. Obviously, when they were winning and when they were really good, a couple of years back, and they were just on fire, and he was MVP. It was, you didn't question it. But now that he's out, you have this other quarterback coming in, and everybody doubted him and didn't know what he was going to do. But now they're looking, good and looking better. It makes you wonder if there were gripes, if it was maybe not, I don't want to say tension, but like if it wasn't all what it was hyped up to be. Maybe it was all the Cam Newton show, and now that he's out, they're more cohesive as a team. Maybe the coaches are coaching. I don't know. Like it makes me think that that's.
It seems like they are more of a team.
Yeah,
but it is no longer Cam Newton's show. It is completely Christian McCaffrey. To me, he's head and shoulders the MVP.
Oh yeah,
so far, but
the most consistent.
Right,
best player right
a
now.
Beast right now. Don't get me wrong. I think Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, even as of late, Aaron Rodgers, who had 4 touchdowns in
right?
without a wide receiver, six touchdowns.
He has 6 touchdowns total in the game. I don't know if he throw for 6.
So I think that Christian McCaffrey is still the best player in the NFL at the moment, at least the most consistent. So that being said, I got the 49ers
5 touchdowns
all the way. Christian McCaffrey, you can get all the yardage you want, run you to the nub. I don't care. The 49ers going to make Kyle Allen throw the ball, and we'll see how good of a thrower he really is. I think he's lost just 1 game since he's come in. But the 49ers defense is at an all-time pace. But so is the Patriots. But again, Patriots are undefeated. So are the 49ers, and they're going to keep it this week going in Candlestick. It's hard from going to east to the west.
You mean Levi's?
I don't care what you say.
You mean Levi's?
Oh, yeah, you got that in my head. So I got the 49ers.
Niners taking it.
Yeah. Chris,
I like the Panthers,
Chris,
but I don't see.
I want you to pick the Panthers.
Oh, he's
Chris.
going to pick the Panthers.
I want you to pick the Panthers.
We could already pencil it in. Chris is picking the Panthers. He will do everything to bet against you. You know that.
This next game, if it's worth its salt, it will be a miracle because Patrick Mahomes dislocated his patella,
His kneecap.
His kneecap, right? So
I mean, that's what a patella is. That's what happened, right?
And he's practicing. He's already throwing the field, limited, but he's already throwing the ball on the field.
Talk about someone with a chip on his shoulder trying to prove his worth. Man, Mahomes is that dude.
Jesus.
Mahomes is that dude. I mean, respect.
Travis Kelce said it didn't even look like an knee when he said we saw that. And listen, for him to come back, but you know what? To be honest with you, I don't think they're gonna let him. The medical staff won't clear him to play. If he does, it would be amazing. But you're going against the Green Bay Packers. So the Green Bay Packers are going to travel to Kansas City and face the Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs have been having their little hiccups. They came back and beat the Denver Broncos last week with Matt Moore after Patrick Mahomes busted his knee. But like we just talked, Aaron Rodgers hadn't had an Aaron Rodgers game all season long, and I think they're 6-1. And last game, he finally had one without his number one wide receiver. 42 points that he put up against the Raiders. And in fact, I picked the Raiders there. What was I thinking? Shout out to my brother, though. Raider fan. So I just don't see how, with or without Patrick Mahomes, even with Mahomes, he's going to be limited. They beat the Green Bay Packers on the road that they are on right now.
So you're taking the Packers?
Yeah, I got Packers.
Yeah, I think they're favorites by 4 or so. Packers. Yeah, if he's not back, even if he is, I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm saying like limited. I don't see him.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Packers as well. What do you think it would be if they had a healthy Pat Mahomes?
The problem lies in that offense, the offensive line. The offensive line, and that's the main reason I think they'll hold him out. His mobility won't be the same, so he'll be more in danger than normally because the offensive line is missing a couple players to the point where the people that they have actually stepped on his ankle and twisted it. So he's getting injured by his own offensive line. Go figure. So until that gets corrected and they don't have to stay on the field for 10 minutes or the defense shows up. Until that happens, I don't see Patrick Mahomes coming back. I would give him a break. Let Matt Moore try.
Isn't Sammy back this week?
Sammy Watkins? Oh, man. Sammy Watkins.
I don't know if that makes a difference.
I don't know. Like, I've had him on my fantasy before. And sometimes
After
he'll be playing.
After week 1, he became the Loch Ness Monster, dude.
And it's just like, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Because I don't see nothing on the board. So I
What'd you say about T.J. Hawkinson?
Personal feelings about that. Huh?
So what'd you say about T.J. Hawkinson?
Yeah. So yeah, who you got?
I took the Packers.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, man, this one was one of the ones that I just didn't want to pick, but we got to go with the pick 6. Okay, 6 games. We're gonna do this. All right. Seattle travels to Atlanta, and Atlanta just traded Mohamed Sanu to the New England Patriots. For some reason, I think you have Mohamed Sanu on your fantasy.
I don't have him on any of my teams.
You keep bringing him up, but whatever.
No.
This is your call.
No.
So the Seattle Seahawks coming off a loss to Baltimore, they actually traded for a safety. Get this. They let Earl Thomas go. He goes to Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Then they play Earl Thomas. Mm-hmm. Not only does Earl Thomas come back and beat Seahawks after flicking his coach off as he was carted off with a broken leg last year. I think he was carted off. And he comes back and beats the Seahawks. And Russell Wilson literally changes and exchanges jerseys with Earl Thomas on the field. Hey, man. And not to make matters worse.
I'm sure he has no beef with him.
To make matters worse, they go and trade for a safety to replace Earl Thomas. So why did you trade? Why did you let Earl Thomas go? Yeah. I'm just, besides the flicking off of the coach. Yeah. They still haven't talked.
Yeah. I think he said in an interview, like, since that moment, they haven't spoken a word.
That's funny.
I mean, like, I think, it's one of those weird things where, like, you don't even find out you're being let go from the person that's letting you go. You're just, you're hearing from Twitter, you're hearing from whatever else, and he's just.
It's just, dude, that takes a lot of balls. How many people wish they could do that? They're like, how many people have a bad boss that on their way out, he doesn't care if he's getting fired. Fuck you. I'm taking
Antonio Brown, Jay Gruden.
But on the field, in plain sight of everybody, that was amazing. I actually like Pete Carroll as a coach. He used to coach USC and always gave Jim Harbaugh, one of my favorite coaches, always gave him a hard time when they played. USC played Stanford when they had Andrew Luck. That's neither here nor there. But that's why I think that Russell Wilson's such a Captain America figure for every. Because
I would like to think that he's
like the perfect politician.
Yeah, but also he was like almost like the mediator in between them. I don't think he's ever gonna always side with his coach. I think he'll support his coach and his team.
Perfect politician.
But who understands the players? The captain of the team. He understands the players, and he probably understood what Earl Thomas was going through and his gripes or whatever. So I think he's one of those players that people can probably confide in and be like, yeah, hey, man.
All right. We got to make a pick. I think that the Falcons have thrown the towel in, and they are done. And Seattle's going to win by 2 touchdowns. I mean, men are men, and they're going to play for pride of just for the sake of trying to win the game. But Seattle is a far better team in a far harder conference, playing far harder teams. They will dominate the Atlanta Falcons.
Woo! I don't know about dominate, but I definitely think Seattle's going to take it. It's a bounce back game for both of them potentially. But I think Seattle has the upper hand on this one. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the game right now. Yeah.
All right. So we both got Seattle. We got to go with a Monday night game. This one was hard too.
Hey, sound a little more excited, why don't you?
All right. So this is the reason we I know we're on different ends of the spectrum here on this pick. Miami travels to Pittsburgh. What's the line?
14 and a half for guess who? Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow. So concussion. Oh, I don't want to make fun of him. But did you see the knockout of
What, Rudolph? Yeah.
And they tried to card him. The car broke down.
Oh, yeah.
Rudolph apparently might make a comeback to in this game. And they are playing another backup quarterback with Miami. And the perennial starting for a backup starting quarterback in Ryan Fitzgerald. He becomes the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. And one thing I will say about Ryan Fitzgerald is that he will try to win every game he plays in. And no matter what, I think that the Miami Dolphins will screw up their number one pick and win this game. They are going to beat the Steelers because, like I said, men are men, and they will play for the sake of pride. And nobody wants to be considered to even be on the worst team of all time. And to be considered to be one of the worst teams of all time, you have to go 0-16. And so they're going to come out on a Monday night, prime time. Dolphins are going to take and steal this game versus the Steelers. Upset alert.
At Heinz Field? I don't know, man. That is a reach if I've ever heard one.
Hey.
I can't side with you on that one. I would love to see it. And I've said it before. I do love an upset, and I do love the underdog story. I think they do have some fire in them still. But I'm still going Pittsburgh. I don't think it's going to reach the line of 14 points. But I'm looking for Pittsburgh to edge this one out.
How much do you believe in Pittsburgh though? They're 2-5 team.
I don't believe in them either. That's why I said I don't think it's going to be a 14-point win. Unfortunately, I mean they're bruised and battered too. I think they're both teams that are looking for this morale boost. I just think Pittsburgh has the upper hand. They're at home. They do have some bright spots. Unfortunately, like Juju's not getting the shine that he should be, and
he doesn't have a quarterback.
And that's
no
why.
offense to Mason Rudolph, but he's a backup as well.
Yeah.
So this leads us to the game of the week. I said my game of the week was the 49ers, but the actual game of the week for us is gonna be the Oakland Raiders, or is it Oakland? It's still Oakland? Las Vegas? Oakland Raiders traveling to Houston, Texas, and playing the Houston Texans. I believe it's a 3:00 game, right?
It's changed to 4:25.
Oh,
or wait. Yeah, that's like 3:30.
Yeah.
Houston time.
That's kind of odd. Why would it change?
I don't know. It's a time change.
Huh.
Maybe
for the Raider fans.
Maybe for the Astros. I don't know if that has anything.
No. The Astros would play.
Because what do we
at 7?
What do we have? Friday. Well, we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Washington. Okay, I don't know.
But anyways, the other team that's gonna win that day, in my opinion, is gonna be the Houston Texans.
Yep.
If you got that reference, I'm talking about the Houston Astros. That's the other team. The Houston Texans gonna take this. They seem to play the tough teams hard and close, and unfortunately, they haven't necessarily won them all. But they really take the bad teams and they take them to the back of the house, and give them that whooping. So I think not that the Raiders are horribly bad; they're just not good yet. And Deshaun Watson, man, if he's playing on any type of MVP level that we know he can play, he's going to, like Chris says, in Deshaun Watson we trust.
Yep.
Sorry, I got the Texans.
Don't be sorry. Don't you ever be sorry.
Oh, that's
Sorry, Oakland. No, yeah. I definitely have the Texans. What a surprise. This is also looking to be the highest scoring game, at least is what the projection is. It says it's about 51 points or so is the over-under, which is higher than any other game this week. Actually, scratch that, minus Seattle, Atlanta.
Oh, really? I would have thought that Green Bay and Kansas, but that's also because Patrick Mahomes is not there. But
yeah, I mean, they're all pretty close. It's a little, but
this was a tough week. I'm not gonna lie. This was. I mean, I thought other weeks were tough. I mean, we sat there and debated before the show, but at least 20, 30 minutes of what the picks the games we're gonna pick. But
yeah, a couple ugly games, but at least for this one, yeah, I see Houston pulling it out. A little homecoming for Mr. Derek Carr. He grew up here, went to high school here, and yeah.
So that being said, I got my money on Miami. I'm gonna actually go put some money on them.
Woo!
What is it? What the odds are? I can't see from here. What are the odds for that?
What? I don't know about the money line or anything, but it's I mean they're 14-point underdogs. So if you think they can at least do that, that's at least a 1-for-1 bet right there.
Well, shoot, I'm gonna bet straight up then on that 14-point line. I mean, I can even if I do see the Dolphins losing, they'll lose by like a field goal or something.
Yeah,
they'll be close to keeping that 0-16 hope alive.
Yeah. I mean,
right,
they got to get a win. They got to get a win one of these days.
Try to get his picks in before we post this up. And
we'll get his picks. We'll post them.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the show. Thank you so much for taking your time, listening to us. However you intake, whether you watch on YouTube, whether you listen to us on a podcast, thank you so much. I am more than humbled to be in this position, to be the voice of reason of Houston sports on the best damn Houston sports podcast in all the land.
Tell them.
Khoa, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Hey, man, might have to make this a regular thing, man.
We'll figure it out.
Get 2 cameras.
Later, Chris.
No, I wasn't. I meant I had a camera and a mic, dude. Relax. Chris,
Get better, Chris.
Yeah, for sure, man. We love you, bud. All right, peace out.
Peace. Oh wait, that was Chris's line.
Yep. Thank you for joining us. This has been the Sports Trapp Podcast. My name is John Trapp. This is Christopher Rodriguez. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, @The Sports Trapp. Check us out on Google Play, iTunes,
Speak your truth, John.
Spotify, and also watch us right here on YouTube. Thank you so much. We out.